Neve Campbell, good morning.
Good morning.
Wow, this is a very different role for you.
Yeah, definitely.
It wasn't exactly the Scream trilogy,
No,
let's put it this
not at
way.
all.
A very dark film.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
With some funny moments.
Yeah, definitely.
And would you say your character's sort of a Black Widow type?
Yeah, it's in that vein, absolutely. She's got several people in her life who are sort of underestimating her intelligence, and it's sort of how she responds to that, and she becomes somewhat vengeful, I guess.
Let's fill people in on the plot. You have sort of a loser boyfriend.
I do. I have a loser boyfriend who's somewhat manipulative, and I discover earlier on in the film that he is manipulating me and sort of making an indecent proposal.
People will recall that movie.
Yes.
I guess because of morning television. All right. Leave that challenge to you, because you can explain the scene that we just saw.
Yeah, in that scene, Count Tommaso Lupo is the name of the character, and it's Dominic Iannese. He's a wonderful actor.
From The Sopranos.
From The Sopranos, yeah, and a gentleman, amazing guy. But he has an interest in me. He's intrigued by me and makes a proposal to me.
He wants to pay you for some favors.
Yes, for some favors. And my character, although she is sexually explorative and curious in her life, she is also very intelligent and doesn't appreciate the offer.
So she manipulates these two characters who think they're manipulating her.
Yes, exactly.
Right back.
Yeah. Exactly.
Did you like that whole notion of sort of men underestimating a woman and the woman really being smarter in the end and getting the better of it?
Yeah, it's a fun character to play. And I think it's fun in the sense also that it's sort of an unapologetic character. I love James Toback, our writer-director. He's pretty genius, and the way that he sort of played this out in the film was really intelligent. So.
It really still leaves you wondering in the end. She's crying in the end, and you wonder, is she really sad and remorseful, or is she just faking it?
Or is she really dark?
It's perfectly clear to everyone is that you bear it all, right? In the first scene in the movie, you're naked.
Yep.
And in the end, in the shower. I thought you used to have a clause, right, in your contract that said no nudity.
Yeah, I did.
So why the change?
I used to have an issue, or I do have an issue with nudity in films if I feel that it has nothing to do with the film itself. If I feel the scenes are designed for box office draw, then I have an issue with it. If I were to be naked in Scream, I would have an issue with that,
Because it would be just a gratuitous
well, it would have nothing to do
right.
with the film, but because, a lot of this is about sexuality and exploration, to me it made sense to see my character in a very raw place at the beginning of the film.
But what is that like? I mean, there's a crew there, right?
Yeah, it was my first day of shooting, and there were 4 guys in a shower with me.
Oh, my, I can't even imagine. How do you get past that? Because you're taking a shower, too. You're not doing a love scene. You're like washing.
It's somewhat intimidating, but, after 2 minutes, it's been bared, and there's nothing to hide. And then it's done. And I was actually glad that we did it on the first day, because then I didn't have to worry for the rest of the film. I'd sort of done the hardest bit.
You got it out of the way. You shot this whole film in 10 or 11 days,
11
right?
days, yeah.
And so it's an independent film, which we see so many actors now going back and incorporating these films into their careers.
Yeah.
Why? What do you like so much about doing a movie like this?
You're not restricted by a studio creatively. When I met James, I'd seen many of his films before, and I really admired him. He called me and sent me 35 pages of a script, and that's all we had to begin with.
Really?
Yeah.
So what did you improvise a lot of?
We improvised a lot, but we also sort of came up with ideas. We would shoot and then come up with ideas in the evening. James would go home and write it, and we'd learn in the morning and then continue, which is a really fun way to play. And you don't have that freedom when you're working with a studio. Because they're spending a lot of money, so they have a lot more control over what you're doing. And so it was a nice way.
Made for some funny moments, too, despite the fact that it was a dark film.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great to see you in such a different role, and it's a very, very interesting movie. Thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Neve Campbell. That's called When Will I Be Loved? It opens in theaters nationwide on Friday. We'll be right back. This is The Early Show on CBS.